Good morning from Glasgow, and you see a little patch of blue right there, and up until about a few minutes ago the sky was very, very blue, but it's very changeable here, as I'm sure you've gotten by now if you've watched a few of these posts. Had the most extraordinary experience this morning. As you know, I've really gotten into watching the birds, and so it's been morning. So it's been because I'm coming down at the same time every day, and because I'm really placing myself into this physical world and really paying attention to what is around me, and patterns are emerging, and certainly the birds have their own vocabulary, which has been quite extraordinary. And I think I mentioned to you before, when I was doing a dance, I forget what I was dancing for exactly, but it was like at the height of it, I had a circle of birds above my head, which was quite amazing. And my friend Judy had come along and she'd witnessed it. She's like, that was amazing. It was such a charge. And I had a very similar experience this morning, that I was dancing and they were above my head again. And I swear, it felt like they were either I'm more aware of them and they were doing certain patterns today, so I was creating my own choreography with them swooping about, or what I'd like to think is that somehow there was that link, energetic link, and there are studies that have been done. Angus Belverni, who's a choreographer, was talking about that, because the same thing happened when we were in Square Park in Public Shields months ago, when I was with him and his dancers, that the birds kind of mirrored what we were doing. And so there was a lot of that happening today, which was amazing. And it's completely extraordinary, because although I'm down here and I'm the solitary dancer on one level, it's like I never feel lonely. Well, I do sometimes feel lonely, because that's a human thing, but when moments like that, when I'm really connected into nature and into the environment, I feel completely supported, and I think that's quite amazing. And it's that whole thing that I was talking about the other day, in how we have taught to separate ourselves, our human nature, from what we perceive to be as nature, and it's actually completely false, because of course we're all made of the same stuff, and we're all connected, and we're all having to balance with that. And so I feel that a big part of this process of waking with the sun and really connecting to that flow of life is like putting me back in alignment as well. I feel more in myself. I sleep better. I feel just better generally, and our feelings are really our only things that we have to go on. So, when things like that happen, and I become either heightened to that experience of the birds in synchronicity with what I'm doing, or that I'm just alive to the environment, it just really puts everything into focus about not why I'm here, that's too simplistic, but about how it is, I suppose. Not the why, but the how it is, which is, I think, a very important thing to focus on. And I had a wee meditation this morning. The team that I went to Sri Lanka with last year to work with the orphans and refugees and young people affected by the war and the tsunami in northeastern Sri Lanka are now going to Haiti today. So I was dancing for their journey, and I got thinking about it, and that it would be a good one. And I got thinking, of course, about this idea of journey, because we now integrate that whole idea of journey into not just a physical thing, but also a metaphysical thing. So when we talk about the journey, and that is generally understood in we understand the language, which is actually reclaiming, because if you or claiming back or something, because if you actually look at the word of journey, which arrived around the 1500s, that word itself again, it was very much, it was very quantified. That in and of itself, that word, is a very quantifiable word. It's about the length of a day and things like this. But then if you look at what it replaced, which was the word for day, which is where we get the word diary and things like this, the actual etymology of that word means day, which means light. There are roots in that word meaning light, which means the return of the light. So again, at one time, all of our life was very elemental. It had to be. I don't for one second have rose-tinted spectacles about what that world might have been like. I think there have been real benefits to the past hundreds of years, and the reason the sacrifices my mother and my father and my grandmother and my grandmothers and grandfathers have made, so that I can stand here. But now I think it's a time of bringing back and rebalancing that, and that idea of being the light. And it was interesting because I got these yogi teas, and my yogi tea this morning, they have little tags, little messages on them, and the little tag this morning, quite interestingly, was travel light, share the light, be the light, live the light, something like this. It was travel light, live the light, share the light, be the light. There's one more I'm missing. Anyway, but it's this whole thing about what you have within you, and that idea of light is like, if you imagine yourself like a flashlight, and let that burn inside of you, that light that just emanates. If you just imagine that you're here to just bring sparkle to the world, because you do, and so that all of that aspect of the day and the light and the journey is very much part of that. So I wish very much a very brilliant journey for my friends who are going to Haiti. And I'd also like to give a special mention to those individuals who enable the journeys. I have a very special relationship with the folks on our SPT Underground, because down at the Shields Road Underground, they are just the most generous people. They're just so lovely, always have a smile, always how are you. They're like my local underground station. And so that makes the journey so much nicer too. That in and of itself is a physical thing, but it's a metaphoric thing about those little things that just make the journey sweeter. Is the very personal enabling blessing that we give within the context of who we are, which is just all circular, So to all the folks who are doing the very practical aspects that allow us on our very, very physical journeys, as well as the individuals who support us on in other levels on our metaphysical and spiritual and emotional journeys, as we progress day by day. So I wish you a very good day, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.